This podcast is sponsored by New Hampshire Vape Gallery and NaturalBossNH.com. More on that later. Let's get into episode 42 of Talking with Topher. What is happening, TwT fans? It is Monday, January 18th, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just want to say thank you to everybody. I cannot express this enough. I have to say it every week because every week, all of you out there really show me that this is all worth it, and so I can't go without thanking all of you for your subscriptions, for your likes, for your comments, for all the views on the last week's episode. I can't stop talking about it. It blew my mind. I will be honest with you. That's all this is here for, is for honesty, and I was blown away. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I never thought I'd see my views go over, maybe 50, in a couple months. But to see an episode skyrocket and completely go over 800 views, well, I have all of you out there to thank for that. And I am so excited to be doing this episode. That's right. This episode is going to be even more fun. And I'll fill you in why in just a moment. But if you're new to the show, remember to subscribe, hit the like buttons if you enjoyed the videos, and as always, set those alarms so that you know as soon as the new episodes are uploaded, all right? Let's keep this thing going. This train is in motion as we speak, and I am just so excited to see it grow and grow and grow and grow, and it's all thanks to you. So keep it going, keep it growing, and keep telling everybody. Spread this thing around, all right? That's what we're trying to do, and I appreciate all of you for doing that for me. If you have a story or you know somebody who has a story that needs to be heard, or maybe you started something new for the new year, or maybe you just started something new and you want to talk about it. Maybe there's something going on in your life. Maybe you need advice on something. Well, I'll tell you where to send it. It's TALKIN with Topher at gmail.com. That's right. talkinwithtopher at gmail.com. It's the official email of the Talking with Topher podcast. So I'm excited to talk to you. I'm going to discuss on the podcast and kind of just do what everybody else is doing out there. I don't think I need to get too much into it, but make your subject lines stand out. If you are sending an email about a story, well, then put that in the headline. This is my story. If you're talking about getting something started, then put that in the headline or the subject line and have it say, I started something new. And that's going to help me find you in between all the ads. Okay, so send your emails to TALKIN with Topher at gmail.com, and it's going to be great. I love the fact that everybody is interacting, and I just want to try and get everybody to go to the email and make it a little bit easier. But speaking of social media and sending messages, you can follow me. That's right. I am on all social media: Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So go ahead, follow me, check it out. I'm posting every day, and it's just really nice to interact with everybody out there, whether it be through the email or social media. It's just really fun to interact. And I just want to hear more from you. It's just really fun to hear more from you. And that is it. We got through it. Woo! Yeah, so this week's episode, I've already previously recorded half of it. And it's going to be fun, you know. I finally did an interview, and I kind of want to talk about it a little bit before I get into it, just so I can clarify where I'm coming from on this, okay? So, obviously, coming from a place of never being on camera, never talking into a microphone. 5 years ago, when the shop first opened, the owner was dealing with a website that would post and interact with your followers for you and stuff like that. It's not a fake account or somewhere where you buy subscribers or followers or anything like that. It was an actual website that you set up, and they just come into your store. They take like 1,000 pictures, and then they take some video, and then they put that online for you, and they rotate the pictures, and it's just constantly updating, and they basically post for you. Well, this, I'm not sure where to find it, and I wish I had thought of that before I started speaking, but if I find it, I'll put it in the show notes, but likeliness of me finding it are very slim to none. But anyways, so we get they're in there, they got their cameras, it's 2 people, and now the owner wants me to sit in front of the camera and talk about the vape shop. Now, I've been there for, at this time, it would have been 2 months, right? So I've been at the shop for 2 months. I've never on camera. I'm sitting in front of this thing, and they go over a few things with me before they turn it on. I say them, I repeat them, and they turn that camera on, and it was like I was under a spell. And I couldn't speak. I couldn't really look at it. It was weird. It was really, really weird. So they did a bunch of takes. I said some stuff, and then I didn't say some stuff. And I will tell you, the final video, I do not speak in it. They cut all my talk out, and I just have music playing behind me. It is, I think there was like one word or phrase I said, and that was it. Are you tired of going into vape shops and having the person behind the counter not knowing what they're doing? Maybe they know more about the smoking accessories instead of the vape accessories, and you just need a specialty vape shop. That's right. So I've got one for you. It's New Hampshire Vape Gallery. It's located at 180 Lafayette Road, Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Rings. We're open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m., and you can always come in our store provided you wear a mask. You can give us a call, 603-814-4171. And we are there to help you find what you're looking for. We're not there to make sales, even though sales are a priority. Getting you off of cigarettes is our biggest priority. So if you come on in and talk to us, we're going to help you find what you're looking for to get off of those cigarettes, whether it be lozenges, small nic devices, large nic devices. It just doesn't matter. Whatever we have in store, we're going to give you the chance to make the best educated decision that's going to help you get off of those cigarettes faster. So come on down and come on in to New Hampshire Vape Gallery, located at 180 Lafayette Road, Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Rings. We're open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. You can always come in our store, provided you wear a mask, and feel free to give us a call, 603-814-4171, naturalbossnh.com. That's naturalbossnh.com. This website is amazing. If you are looking to get rid of dry skin, keep your lips from cracking this winter, maybe you're looking for some hand sanitizer in general, because all the products you keep buying are drying out your hands. They're making it difficult to use your steering wheel. I mean, some of these are made with chemicals, and they're on recall lists right now, but not Natural Boss. Natural Boss has the most organic and best products available. That's right, their hand sanitizer. I have been using it for well over 8 months now. It is absolutely amazing, and I love it. Where I have to clean my hands after every shopping visit, this hand sanitizer never lets me down. They also have a salve for dry skin. It's great for it. And then they have a lip balm so that you can keep your lips moist instead of them cracking on these cold winter days. If you're looking to relax, get some of their foot and body soak. That'll give you a nice relaxation at the end of a hard work day. And then, of course, if you have a beard, they have beard oil. So you can get any one of these 5 products or all 5 of them at naturalbossnh.com. That's naturalbossnh.com. And now, back to the show. So, fast forward to the pandemic. We locked down in late March, early April last year, right? And I am losing my mind, and I don't know how to keep myself from drinking because I'm just stuck at home and I'm going crazy and I can't go anywhere. And I was like, you know what? I've been talking about doing a podcast for a year now. I might as well just figure this out and do it. So I open up the laptop and boom, April 4th, 2020, I get this thing rolling, right? If you go back and you watch my very first video, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm very hesitant. My voice isn't very loud. And you can just see it in my posture. I'm not very comfortable. But I'm talking into the camera, and I'm trying to do what's best for me and get over this mental issue that I'm having, this mental hurdle I need to jump over so that I don't go back out and drink. So I've said it 100 times now, and I'll just keep saying it. It's fine. The podcast was for me to not drink. You know, it was to help me get my thoughts out and get them into the air. And I felt it would be best if these thoughts were out there for everybody, because I'm not the only one having them. And I wasn't the only one having them, I found out. And so when I finally got it all started and I got it going, I started feeling more comfortable in front of the camera. Well, now you fast forward to today. I've been in front of the camera for over 9 months now. I feel, personally, that I've gotten much better. I'm not good by any means. I understand that. And I'm not great. But I've gotten better. I wish I could get my stuttering down. I wish I could do a whole bunch of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff I'm constantly picking on myself for and needing to fix. I have never put up a podcast and thought this is my best work, ever. I've always thought it was the worst thing I've ever done. I still do to this day. Every time I put up a podcast, I go, oh man, I don't know. I'm not feeling this one. And then it goes up and some of them do well and some of them don't. And that's fine, because I feel like if I was saying that this is the best thing I've ever done, then I'd just be lying to myself. I'd never work on anything. It would always be the same thing over and over again. Now, sure, you try to keep the podcast pretty consistent, but at the end of the day, the podcast should be showing your true self, I think. I think that's why everybody listens and comes to podcasts, is because you're looking for truth. You're looking for honest people and people that are not trying to pull the wool over your eyes or hide things from you, right? And I definitely don't want anybody to feel that way when they listen or watch my podcast. So I always try to be as honest as I can. I always try to be honest at all times. All times. I might jokingly do a few things, but I'll always come back and correct myself. And if I'm ever wrong about something, I will definitely admit when I'm wrong. I am not married to my ideas. This podcast that you will be seeing will be an interview. My very first interview. Now, having a conversation in my kitchen is so much different than trying to have the conversation up here. So I did not do great. I will be honest. I do not feel like I performed as well as I could have. I kind of got a little excited in a few areas, and wasn't really happy with my performance. All right. I felt like when Tyler was talking, I felt like I allowed him to speak without interrupting him too many times. And this is my very first one. So bear with me. I'm going to keep working on this. But it is different. It is different. Like, so we did a quick mic check, but for me, it was weird not having the headphones on because I wear these things because if I start getting too loud, I basically start yelling in my own ear, and that keeps me from yelling into the microphone and having the audio all off. So I use these for my perforated eardrum to make sure that I'm not too high-pitched or screaming or something, because sometimes I can't tell when my voice raises. So if you ever want to know why I'm all by myself and I'm wearing these friggin' headphones, that's why. I use it as a tool to make sure that my voice stays at a proper level the entire time, because otherwise, if I had them off, you could be listening to this in your car and then all of a sudden I'm just going to start screaming, and because I get excited about things, so I start yelling. And then you'll be like turning down your stereo, and then I'll calm down and you'll have to turn up your stereo. So to avoid that situation, because I know when it happens to me on other people's podcasts and I'm turning my stereo up and down, it's kind of annoying. So I do it for myself, one, to keep myself from yelling and keep an eye on my volume. And I do it for you so that I don't torture you with turning your volume up and down on your stereos. But with him in the room, it was nice because if I got excited or anything like that, he would let me know. So it was pretty cool. But I will have to say, having a conversation in my kitchen is completely different than having a conversation on the mics. So I got the same way I got the first time I got on camera to start this podcast. I was kind of nervous, kind of clammy, had some butterflies, wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep this thing on track. So it was just this whole experience, and I'm talking about it because I watch so many podcasts, like I'm sure you do out there, and they just make it look so easy. And I realize that it's a muscle that they have exercised to death. And if I didn't feel this way, I feel like I wouldn't get any better. But because I feel this way, I'm going to strive to do better. So this isn't the last interview. It's definitely the first one. There probably won't be another one for a little while. But I really wanted to do this for everybody out there because COVID, whether you believe it or not, it's here. Okay? I know if you don't believe, then it's not here. I get that. But it's not true. It's here. We're dealing with it every day. We have been for almost a solid year now, I'm sure. And this is Tyler's personal experience with COVID. And I think he does a great job of explaining it. I had a few questions. Some were stupid. Some were jokingly, and then a couple were serious. But if you're curious as to what could possibly happen if you get COVID, this is Tyler's experience with the virus. And I just hope all of you out there enjoy. And let me know. Comments, right? So send me some comments. Let me know what you thought. Give the thumbs up, of course, if you enjoyed the video. And, let's get into it. This is episode 42, interview with Tyler Crain.
It is Friday night,
January 15th.
Got it.
I am fresh out of work, and I am here with my friend Tyler Crain, who has had COVID, and we're pretty excited to get together. This is the first time we've hung out in almost 3 weeks, and yeah, let's. Why don't you plug anything you want? Got anything going on that you want to plug?
You can check out my music. Grydlynk, GRYDLYNK, on SoundCloud, YouTube, on Instagram as well. Give me a follow over there. I'm gonna be releasing some more music soon. I have an EP out right now. You can go check that out if you want.
Nice. All right.
That's basically it for plugging. Not much else going on.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. So, I guess, it's really good to see you since it's been so long. I'm glad you're alive and well. This COVID fear porn has gotten everybody and get their panties in a bunch. And as we can see, specific ages make it right through. But kind of go over what happened. Wow.
Yeah, it was weird. I was germaphobe before this, so this was not fun. Going through it, just the anxiety of getting it. But basically, my whoop is what told me. It told me everything. So basically, there's an article out there. You can go and look it up. Where Whoop was finding out that with members that tested positive, they had a respiratory rate spike a couple days before symptoms started. Okay. So I always watched my respiratory rate pretty closely. It never elevated to the point of concern. The Whoop even tells you if it's elevated to a point of concern. And so we have Christmas Eve. My grandparents are over, my whole family, my sister's boyfriend, everything. And Christmas Day, I wake up and I have a respiratory rate spike that was cause for concern. And my recovery was, I think, at 14%, which it's very rarely that low unless I get 4 hours of sleep, which never happens. I try not to let that happen. So I got that, and then I was a little concerned, but it could be a bunch of other things. Wasn't necessarily COVID. Day after Christmas, spiked up even more. Still a super low recovery, but still no symptoms. So I wasn't sure what to really think of it. And then over the weekend, I did get a little congested.
That's right around the time you called me, right? You had called me that weekend?
Yeah, well, with the positive test result?
With the Whoop results.
Yeah, with the Whoop
You
results.
were talking to me about Whoop,
yeah.
And I kind of shoved it off.
Yeah, everyone did.
And I told you had allergies.
Yeah.
And then continued.
Yeah, we were thinking the weather shift. We were thinking all sorts of things. So, yeah, I thought I was going crazy because, I'm just no, this, but... everyone was making really good points. They're like, you don't go anywhere. All I do is jiu-jitsu, band practice with one other person once a week. Work from home, school from home, just hang out at home.
That's why I was so shocked.
Everyone was shocked. My bandmate, he was like, "You're the last person I thought that would get it." I
agree with that statement.
Super cautious.
Yeah.
I'd hand sanitize all the time, bring hand sanitizer everywhere, wear my mask everywhere, and so I ended up getting a little congested, and ended up coming over here that Monday.
That was the Monday.
Yep, and so was feeling really good about it, and then the following day, I was still, congestion got worse, and I started to lose my sense of smell. Mm-hmm. So, was definitely immediately concerned with that, but I also was super congested. So I Google searched, I was like, I wanted to know the specifics of the whole loss of smell. And what the Mayo Clinic said was the COVID loss of smell is without accompanying congestion.
Okay.
So I thought I was fine, but my mom started feeling a little congested at that point, and my sister started feeling a little sick too. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to call my primary and get a test. Try to get a test. I had a couple different places I was thinking of going to in case my doctor was like, no. So I called, and he said that the loss of smell is a concern. It's a very common symptom with COVID. So he's like, we're going to get you tested.
Okay.
So he had me set up for a test the next day. He gave me the rapid test.
Now, what is the percentage of false anything on those?
Yeah,
Do you know?
I don't know the exact numbers.
Okay.
I know when I got the call, because they're like, you're gonna get a call if you're positive, text if you're negative.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
you know when it pops up on your phone if you're positive or negative, just by the way they delivered the information.
Huh.
So, I get the call, and that's the first thing I thought. I just asked him, like, I don't know, like, I saw something on the news about false positives and stuff, and what they told me was the rapid tests are incredibly accurate when you're dealing, when you have symptoms.
Okay.
So I was exhibiting symptoms of congestion and loss of smell, so they gave me the rapid test.
Okay.
So, so they set me up for the test. I go get the test. It was bizarre. There was this giant green tent in the back parking lot, and they had like 2 lanes merged into one.
Oh, at Dartmouth?
Yeah, no, it wasn't Dartmouth.
It
was,
okay.
God, yeah, I do Derry Medical Center.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, it was down in Derry.
Derry.
Yeah, oh yeah. So I went from 2 lanes to 1. So you had people like try to merge just in traffic. They get COVID tested, so everyone was kind of, but it wasn't too busy. I was in and out pretty quick. So got the test results later that day. Called a couple other people, let them know what was going on. I took the rest of the day off of work, not by choice. I wanted to, but it was, they were like, no, you're taking the rest of the day off.
Yeah.
So,
that makes sense.
So, the first day was the worst. Just as a whole, not only was I sick, but I was also incredibly stressed out. I was incredibly worried about my grandparents. That I'd say was like the most nerve-wracking part of all of it. Luckily, they tested negative.
Yeah.
So I'm still not quite sure. I'm happy that happened. Still not quite sure how it happened that way. I guess we were all in the same house, but we weren't all over each other or anything like that. We kept our distance for the most part, but not 6 feet. So my guess is like when the virus is incubating and getting settled in, you're not contagious. You're not contagious until you have symptoms, because.
Well, that's like right now.
Yeah.
You're not contagious. You just have the antibodies. That's it.
Yeah.
You can't get it for at least 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, a couple months.
So, and I can't get it from you. It's not like what's inside of you is contagious to me, and I can get COVID from you.
Yeah,
right now.
they said because I had a pretty mild, moderate case. So they said 10 days. They said they didn't. Well, they said if it was a severe case, it would be 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also, it was that, and then there was also like weird instructions on like the other people in the house. in terms of getting tested. And like, I mean, my doctor told me one thing, my mom's doctor told her another.
I called and I got told multiple things from the state when I got one person to another, and the same with my doctor's office. So I'm only one person, and I'm calling multiple times, and I'm getting totally different answers from both sides. So I can only imagine how confusing it is when all of you guys are trying to call in and talk, and the information coming from them is not on point. Like, they're disorganized. This is not put together very well.
Yeah.
It is what you can see from it.
Yeah, I mean, the person I talked to said get everyone in the house tested, and they had different quarantine rules. Like, so it was 10 days from the positive test result.
Okay.
But then, so I tested positive on a Wednesday, say my mom tested positive on a Saturday. It would be 10 days from her Saturday.
Okay.
On top of my quarantine. So it was like 20 days total. But then her doctor said, no, you guys are all in the same house. You all have COVID. Period. Like, so don't even bother getting tested. Which kind of makes me...
Really?
Which, you know, you hear a lot of stuff online where it's like, oh,
is that because they don't want you to leave the house and possibly spread it any further? Because if you go out and get a test, you could take chance of spreading it. So they're like, everybody has COVID, you just all stay home.
Honestly, I think it's testing supply, because I'm not able to get another test to make sure I'm negative. I'm not even able to get an antibody test because the supply is so low. That was one of the first things I asked. I was like, when this is all over, can I get another test to make sure I'm negative, or an antibody test? They're like, no, demand's too high and supply is too low. So we've had 9 months, or 10, almost a year at this point.
Yeah, I think we're 11 months
to prepare for this, and we still don't have adequate testing. So,
I did not.
So that was very frustrating, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, because now you're just going off time.
Yeah.
And you're like, the doctor said I'm cool, so I'm cool. I can't. And if you were going to like work or something was going on, I know there's certain protocols where like if you get it, you have to have 2 negative tests in a row before you can go do anything.
Yeah.
And here you are, you can't get any tests. Interesting.
So that was a little frustrating. But yeah, so I get the call. Set up DoorDash, the lifesaver.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, I am addicted.
Every delivery service.
I gotta say though, I'm happy.
That quarantine.
I'm happy I waited until now to get DoorDash, because I was a new customer. Whole month of free delivery, yeah. So I'll take it. So yeah, set that all up. The first night was rough, like really bad. I had like the worst chills of my life.
Okay.
And not like small shaking chills, like full body.
Like seizure?
It almost felt like that. Yeah.
Really? Because I've heard it. Like I've never seen it or experienced it.
Yeah. I mean, it was like I don't it's so like it started off moderate, and then I'm in a pretty cold room too.
Okay.
Heating's not the best for my room in particular, so that didn't help. So it started out moderate. I was just a little chilled, and then it got worse and worse and worse. And I mean, I like couldn't stop shaking. I was taking I was trying to take some melatonin.
Okay.
To kind of get myself to go to sleep a little faster. And getting those pills, getting the melatonin pills, I mean, it was uncontrollable shaking. It was difficult to just take the pills.
Oh, wow.
So I get as many layers as I can on. I get every blanket I have in my bed. And I just try to warm up. And eventually, as that continued, my chest was tightening up. I was having difficulty breathing at that point. So I was worried. Like at that point, I was like, if this, because that went on, the uncontrollable shaking continued for about like 10 or 15 minutes.
Jesus.
To control it. So, and with how my chest
it's like an alcoholic without a drink.
It was bad. So I was like, if this continues to happen, like that was the only time I thought I might get hospitalized for this, because I was lucky to not have another fit that bad again. I definitely still had the chills, but nothing like that. Nothing like that first night. But I was like, if I have a bunch of these, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I was also, concerned if my mom or sister had that too. So that was definitely the scariest. That was the hardest part, was in the beginning, was the chills.
And how many hours in is this?
Well, I started experiencing symptoms.
Because you got positive Wednesday.
Saturday or Sunday, and then Wednesday I tested positive.
Right.
The first couple of days, stuff. The chills and stuff. So if we're going from when I started symptoms, which was like Saturday, Sunday, we're on day 3.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on night 3 technically. So yeah, I ended up being able to slept for like 14 hours that night. First night slept easy 14 hours. Second night, same. So after the chills, after the intense chills calmed down, the fatigue hit. Wow. And I was just completely exhausted all day, all night. Did nothing but sleep for most of the week. Congestion was still really bad. At this point, I couldn't smell a thing. So I have one of the CBD salves from Infinite CBD, and it is like an extremely strong smelling menthol thing. Like when I apply it at night, like my eyes would sometimes burn, because just not like not awfully, but like if like I put it on my wrist and I have like my hand up by my head, it'll just like...
So soap in the eyes burn, or like hot sauce burn?
More like a hot sauce burn.
More like the hot sauce?
If you take like a deep inhale of a hot sauce and like your eyes are like, woo, like it's strong stuff. And man, I stuck my nose right up to that thing and took a big inhale, and I couldn't smell a thing. I could kind of feel, weird to describe, but I could kind of feel the like coolness of the menthol, but I couldn't like actually smell anything. Oh, wow. I could still taste, which I'm really grateful I didn't lose my sense of taste. My mom and sister both did.
So they lost both?
They lost both.
That's so weird.
So yeah, I kept my taste, and yeah, so it was a lot of fatigue, constant congestion. I'd say around like the end of that week, so day 6, 7, I started getting like pretty bad chest pains. That started, and mainly like they would come and go. And so it wasn't a constant pain, but it would come and go. And same with the cough. The cough would be nothing, and then a couple hours later, super aggressive cough. But it wasn't excuse me, it wasn't the dry cough that is commonly associated with COVID. It was, I was so congested, it was like that post-nasal, like down your throat, and you're coughing it up. So it wasn't like a dry cough. And the headache. The headache was really bad in the beginning, and like moderate at the end. In the middle, it's like when I had the chills, I didn't have a headache. But then after that settled, the headache came back.
Okay.
So it was honestly just the weirdest illness I've ever experienced. It's the sickest I've been since, in 2000, I think 14 or 15, I got mono and strep back to back. So like a double whammy on that. And that was bad. But that was like, it was consistent.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. This was a roller coaster. You're all over the place.
This was just all over the place. And there was no consistency to it.
Now, I've heard it described as like flu with aggressive inflammation. Would you describe it?
I've never had the flu.
You've never had the flu, so you can't compare.
I can't compare it.
That's fair. I've never had the flu. At least I don't think I've had the flu. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, normally, like, honestly, it felt, the congestion part of it felt like just a cold. It felt like a cold with allergies. So it feels like a cold you get right in the beginning of spring.
Right.
Because, like, when I would get a cold, it would only last for like a few days, and I'd be congested, but there would be a point during the cold where everything starts to come out. Like, your nose becomes runny, and your body, like, can expel that. The mucus kind of loosens up a little bit. With this, it was congestion, but there wasn't that after part. Like, it was like I'd be incredibly congested, and I'd blow my nose, and
nothing. Oh, so you were just inflamed.
Yeah.
There was no buildup.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So
that's the worst.
Yeah.
That's like what happens after you use nasal spray too much.
Exactly.
The shit closes up,
yeah.
and it's not clogged. It's just, it's inflamed like hell. Oh my god, that's the worst. I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, I mean, it was just a strange illness. I mean, it was just weird, and, I mean, like, my mom got hit the hardest.
How old is she?
Hands down. 50, early 50s.
Early 50s?
Yeah, okay, early 50s.
Okay. So she's not quite in that bracket, but she's close.
Yeah, so...
Because you're 25, right?
Yeah, 25.
25, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean...
so the age is important.
Yeah.
It is important.
Oh, definitely. I mean, my dad didn't seem to have too bad of symptoms.
Your dad also works outside all day. He's in construction, so he's just hustling all the time. It's a different world from sitting at home playing on the computer where the immune system doesn't get built as much. He's out in the dust, the dirt, so I feel like it was like me. I was in the middle of you and my wife, and I walk away scot-free with nothing, and there's only a couple reasons why. My body is just used to being around a bunch of garbage and it just disposed of it, or I do actually take care of myself. Who knows? We'll find out someday, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is wild. Dude. What else you got?
And I mean, Jesus. Well, I mean, the most interesting thing I found was I got none of with the exception of the loss of smell, I got no common COVID symptoms. My entire family and I, none of us got a fever, which
supposed to be the most common.
And it makes me
probably the only one I really know of being common.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, so my sister's, if I remember correctly, my sister's boyfriend did have a fever for a couple days. But yeah, it definitely makes me question the effectiveness of temp checking a little bit. But yeah, so none of us got a fever. I didn't have any shortness of breath, with the exception of the aftermath of that, like, chill fit. You know, I think that was just because of how much I was shaking. It was really like it took I didn't have a lot of energy that day, regardless, and that took the rest of my energy. I was looking on my Whoop and saw my heart rate spike around that time.
I will tell you something that I truthfully will never question that Whoop ever again. Because you came to my house, you showed me that on the phone, and I'm like, dude, the weather changed. It's been crazy around here. It was 60 degrees yesterday. It's 32 out today. We're just in the middle of this allergies, I'm telling you. And you're like, no, man, look at everybody else. They had the same thing. And then I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday you called me, and I was like, I was blown away. I literally was.
The thing,
never thought it would happen.
The thing knows my body better than I do.
Yeah.
And it's honestly crazy. So yeah, but I didn't have any shortness of breath. And then what's the other super common? The dry cough. I had a cough, but it wasn't a dry cough.
So the most common symptoms are fever, cough, and what was that?
Shortness of breath.
Shortness of breath.
Yeah, well, at least in the beginning, the loss of smell has become like the other super common one.
Okay.
And I mean, like those were just the ones that stuck with me. Fatigue is super common as well, and we all were completely exhausted. I still have, a little bit of fatigue, not nearly as bad as before, but yeah, the fatigue was nasty. I'd say that was the worst part, because I kind of lost motivation in a lot of stuff. I just didn't have the energy to work on music or do anything productive.
I wonder why.
Yeah, so
You're
I think
convulsing.
No, I know.
You're not going to be working on much.
It's just like the. I mean, it's just so frustrating, because I wanted to be doing stuff and I couldn't. But at the end of the day, I'm just grateful none of us were hospitalized. Grateful my grandparents tested negative. You and Nicole tested negative. And I'm just happy I kind of went with my gut.
Yeah.
And
good decision.
And just kind of went and got it. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of bummed out the antibodies don't last as long as we thought.
No, there's so much bullshit on this, and there's so much shit on it. They're saying 3-4 months to stay safe. Then they're saying 6-8 months. And then they're saying, well, it hasn't even been around a year, so we don't even know if anybody's made it a year with the antibodies in their system. So they're just going around testing these people, seeing how far out they're making it with the antibodies, and we haven't had a year under our belt yet, so we'll never know. We won't know until, after a year. And then they'll test that person. If the person still has the antibodies, they'll probably be like, oh, okay, 6 months. Because they won't ever tell you the maximum it can go, because then you're like, oh, okay, I can make it 12 months. They said so. Well, now if you don't make it 12 months, you can hold it against them. So, like delivery service, they give you that, they give you a range of this is how long it could possibly be, but it's always going to be on the low side so that you can never hold it against them. It's just a game. Now, my question is, would you have gotten any of the shit that they gave Trump if you had been hospitalized? Is it because you stayed home, you couldn't get, the doctors wouldn't give you any? Is that only hospital bullshit? Is that what that is?
Well, I mean, you can only get the stuff Trump's getting if you're Trump or his lawyer.
Well, no, like the hydrochloroquine, what is that other stuff that everybody's getting injected now?
Remdesivir,
that's it.
Remdesivir.
Something like that. So I didn't know if those were. I didn't know if some of them come in pill form, because there are some stuff out there that they've talked about, and you can find it on Amazon. And there was chloroquine, something like that. Don't hold me accountable on my words. But. So I was just curious, that's all hospital stuff. So if you go to the hospital, that's when they're going to give you that, because... I
mean, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
Thinking
I just asked a really stupid question.
With the lack of testing, that we have, I don't have much faith in the. I have faith in the workers, obviously, but in terms of supply, I don't have much faith. I mean, I know New Hampshire, the hospitalizations are rising. I know I got a buddy who needs a knee surgery, and he can't get it because Elliott stopped elective surgeries because they're overwhelmed with COVID.
Oh wow! Okay.
So
you're seeing shortage in tests in general, which should be available, and then you're seeing people who can't get surgeries. So you're just seeing a depletion of our medical system, and where even if you were to get hospitalized, it could be a possibility that those supplies may not even be there for you when you get there. Okay, so that's kind of scary.
And it also, I mean, one thing that I was also thinking about is, you know, I mean, I'm wondering because okay, so you take my house for example.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had 4 people.
Yeah.
And I was the only one that got tested positive.
Okay.
And everyone else's doctors said, yeah, you guys all have it. Don't even bother getting tested. So I just find it funny, not funny, but I find it, I just find it strange that, you know, everyone's like, oh, they're over-reporting.
But that seems like an under-reporting.
At least, and it makes me wonder how many other houses have done that, or how many people like me just got a little congested and was like, oh, I feel like this every year or this or that, and they don't get tested, and now they're running around with a mild case of COVID.
Right. And you could have listened to me and been running around like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
but
it wasn't only you.
Right. No, that's fair. But I was just like, but so this is what I experienced, because when Nicole drove herself to the ER, because one, you're not allowed to bring anybody else with you. You have to go by yourself. And she was like, if I'm going to be stuck there, I'm at least going to have my car. And it was good because she got to take a nap in it. You know what I mean? So she was like, I don't want to be stuck there, and you can't come in anyway, so I'm just going to drive myself. I can drive. So she drives herself because she's having chest pains. So she gets there, and her test comes back, and it comes back negative. So they're just like, you just have a virus. And they give her some scans. You know, she gets home really late, and but because her test came back negative, which I've been told the PCR test, which is the one that goes up the nose, fucking has false negatives. And she could have been under the amount of days for that test to have worked, because they told me I couldn't get that test until I was 5 to 6 days out. So if she was 3 to 4 days, then she would have possibly had a negative test. But because they were just like, oh, we don't know what it is, and they're sending them home. But I'm hearing all these stories that like they want the positive tests if you're in the hospital, because they get $19,000 per person. So, but they saw that her test came negative. They saw all of her symptoms. They scanned her, and they were like, no, this is fine. You can go home. But she had almost all the symptoms you had. And I'm like, and it doesn't make any sense to me. The patterns don't fit. They say that they're they're overcounting people. They're saying there's more people than there is getting it, but they didn't count your household. And then you're telling me that they're getting money for positive scans, and my wife was there. They had a chance to scan her a second time, and they chose to send her home because they were like, you got something, but it's not this.
Yeah.
And she could have gotten a false negative. You know what I mean? And it's just like, so are those stories true, or is it just not happening here? You know what I mean? You see where I'm going with that?
I don't want to speak for the medical industry. I have no idea.
Did I just do that? I'm not trying to
No,
do that.
no, I'm not. No.
Let me make that clear. I'm not speaking for the medical industry either.
I just think the system is broken.
Yes.
I just think, I mean, so many systems are broken, and I just think the healthcare system is one of them. I still think for the most part, the entire country is still not like prepared for this thing and ready for this thing. And then we have a new variant out, and we still have people that don't even believe it's real, and that so it's I don't know a solution. But
it's just one big shit show right now.
It absolutely is. in every way, shape, and form, it is a shit show right now.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
so excited to hang out, and that's exactly what we're going to go do.
Awesome.
So, dude, thank you very much.
Absolutely,
I appreciate it.
And that was the interview, everybody. I hope everybody out there enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed interviewing Tyler. It was really, really great going over his entire experience and having somebody so close to me that had this experience. I just had to get it out there, ask some questions, and I don't know, maybe diffuse a lot of that fear porn out there, right? I'm just tired of it. They're just scaring us left and right, and it's like they don't care what they're doing to us mentally. It was just really nice to get that out of him. It was nice that he could come and talk to me about it. I was very excited. And I am a little jealous of him. Maybe more than a little jealous. I mean, let's be real. This guy does not have too many worries for the next 3 to 4 months, according to the doctors. I still believe it could be longer. Depends on the antibodies, but they told him 3-4 months. So, man, I feel like I would have almost the same, maybe a little bit less, if I was to get it. So definitely a little bit of jealousy built up inside of me when, he doesn't have to wear his mask, but he's going to because it makes people feel comfortable. And that's a great mindset. If I had COVID and I was basically immune to it, I would do the same thing. I would wear my mask in public, So it was just really fun to do this with him, and hear his experience firsthand. So that was it. That's it. Episode 42. My very first interview, and I have all of you to thank for this. The only reason that this podcast keeps going the way it's going is because of you out there, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Without all of you out there tuning in every week, I was just doing this for myself, and it has become something bigger, and that makes me super excited. It gets me coming back behind this thing every week, and I just have all of you out there to thank. So on that note, remember to subscribe, hit those like buttons if you enjoy the video, and as always, leave a comment. Comments help push this thing to the top, and talk about it. That's right. Talk about Talking with Topher with your friends, with your family. If you're enjoying it, I'm sure somebody out there or somebody you know is going to enjoy it as well. So let's spread this thing around and keep making this thing get bigger and bigger. talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That's right. talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That's TALKIN with Topher @gmail.com. That's where you send your stories. That's where you send your things I've started this year. Anything that you want to talk about, send it to the official email of the podcast, TALKIN with Topher @gmail.com. And don't forget to follow me on social media. That's right. Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. I'm there. Go there. Follow. I always appreciate it. And if you don't feel like using the email, you're already following me, hit me up in the DM. It takes me a little bit longer to go through those, but I'll find you. If you got something to talk about, we'll talk about it. And oh, shoot, speaking of comments, this was a great one. It's probably way too far at the end of the podcast for this. Yeah, we'll call it a jelly bean. Fuck it. Yeah, so I got a comment on episode 41. All right, so here it is. I'm going to read it to you. I'm not going to say who it is, but that's fine. I found this to be really funny because I did not feel this way about episode 41, where I thought where I felt like I was in a movie, and I was asking if anybody else did too. So first thing this guy does is obviously make fun of my spelling. Now, if you listen to this podcast, you know I can't speak very well. I'm working on it. Camera shy, working on it. English, failed it. All right, I'll be honest. I flunked out of English. I barely skated by English just to pass high school. You know, I got a C in that class just so I could get out of it. I'm sorry. English is very confusing. There shouldn't be silent letters where we don't need them. You know, we shouldn't see a silent letter. Just don't put it there. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff in the English language that makes no sense, which is why most people say it's one of the most difficult languages to learn because we have so many things going on. It's never very consistent. Kind of like our lives, I guess, right? Anyways, so he's making fun of my spelling because I spell there. Their. And he puts it in quotes. Then he says, what? In a movie? Their dog in a movie? Their cat in a movie? Maybe you should go R-E-E-E-E-E-E at the sky. More. Yeah, I should go at the sky more and learn to spell. Then he calls me cupcake. Or she. I don't know. I think it's a him. But I could just be doing that because he's being aggressive or because 96% of my viewers out there are male. So I'm assuming. So I said, fixed. Thank you. What I did is I put they are because I'm an idiot and I don't know any other way to do it. Well, he writes back again. They are equals there. Oh, all right. I remember that from English class. You're welcome. So he lets me know that they are equals THEY apostrophe RE, and then his next sentence is THERE. So it's they are equals there. There, you're welcome. Ha, 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 ha. It was he's right. I'm not arguing the fact that this person is right or wrong. I'm just like, okay. And then, this is where the comment gets a little odd. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, even if you get your news from CNN, however. Now, this is what I replied. I did not think of it like that. Also, thanks again. Basically, thank you for helping me with my spell check. I appreciate it. And I'll have a more open mind about this, but I didn't think I was getting my news from... And there's something missing here. Why is there a comment missing? Oh, there it is. I'm so sorry, guys. So sorry. I screwed up. Even if you get your news from CNN. However, you seem to be the racist, lumping everyone into your false propaganda. Now, I had over 840 people view episode 41. I don't think I lumped anybody into a group. I don't think I talked about false propaganda. I wanted everybody to stop being in groups. I wanted everybody to stop picking sides. I want everybody to work together. I think the way we're doing things right now is ridiculous and retarded. And retarded is a strong word, I understand, but it means to hold us back. So I feel like everything going on today is holding our entire momentum of moving forward and back. It's holding it back. We're not going to get to a better place if we keep doing the same stupid shit and putting people into boxes and, yeah, spreading propaganda. But I didn't spread propaganda. I wasn't even watching CNN. I was watching WMUR, Channel 9. That's right. So I wasn't watching CNN. I wasn't watching MSNBC. I wasn't watching any of the Fox News or the other news or all the ones that pop up and constantly get bashed for, spreading lies, picking a side. My wife just turned on local news. So I just watched Channel 9. And I feel like your local news is kind of the safest news right now, because your local news is not going to do the same things that everybody else is doing that's on a 24-hour news spread. Because they have to do things within an hour span. So they're just getting all the most important things, and that's it. So what I watched was not propaganda. I mean, it was a live camera outside from the start of everybody gathering to the protest starting, all the way up until the riot, all the way up until the protesters turned into rioters and started getting into the Capitol. What's that fucking word? When they actually breached the Capitol. So I don't know how I'm spreading propaganda from watching my local news, but I'm definitely not lumping anybody into a group sum. I mean, do I believe that everybody at the Capitol was a Trump supporter? 100%. Yes, I do. The propaganda, I believe, is everybody turning around and saying they're Antifa or they're this and they're not Trump supporters. And that's a lie. And I feel like a lie is propaganda. Isn't it? Isn't that the fucking lie? So I'm not lying. I'm just telling you what I watched. I watched it. It was there. It was real. They're still talking about it now. We're still dealing with it. And they're impeaching him again. And we'll see how this goes to the Senate. So to this person, I'm not spreading propaganda. And I want everybody to work together. So I thank you for the comment. I thank you. I thank everybody. Thank everybody. But that's not happening here. I have no reason to spread anything except for positivity, my thoughts, and hopefully help people better themselves at the end of the day. But that's it. That's the podcast. And again, thank you, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of the week. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll talk to you later.